Good evening, ladies and gentlemen of YouTube. It's your boy, Sean the Navigator. Just want to do a real quick live stream. Not going to be on too long because not going to really take a whole lot of time to cover what I need to cover. Because, I mean, we see the world scene right now, especially over here in the West, and pretty much even in these crazy times, even in 2023, man, we still got women chasing a bag, and even women that chasing a bag or maybe even have the bag. You know, it's not like it was mom and dad and grandma and grandpa were coming up and trying to start families back then. Excuse me, trying to push my futon up. Back then, they would come together. In that time, women believed in actually being real, helpmeets to their men, and pitch in and help out their man, especially if they know they had a man that had a vision and he come with a plan. The woman would go out of their way. The women at the time would go out of their way to assist that man with his plan, with his vision, and his purpose for him, her, and their future offspring. Well, now, when we look at 2023, what's supposed to be the quote unquote dating scene, some may still use the old school term courting. It's more of a competition, dog eat dog scenario now. You hear women saying that, I don't want no Bob the Builder ass man. If a man ain't already coming, ready made, I don't want him. But rarely do we see women applying that to themselves. Because when we really look at the dating scene, how many women actually come what's called ready made? It's not happening. So, when we just be real within ourselves, no person comes into any relationship, quote unquote, ready made. I don't care how much income or whatever they may have. There's going to always be things that happen in relationships that neither that man nor that woman is ready for. That's for those of us who still hold to the traditional man-woman opposite gender relationships. Um, you know, you're not just talking about bringing a man and a woman together. We're talking about people that were raised in different households, so more than likely there's two different ways of thought, um, two different ways of going about things, and that's just from the typical westernized monogamous standpoint. We ain't even touching on uh, for those of us who follow the Most High and are open to polygynous standpoints. Then you'd have to take into consideration uh, more than one woman, different mindsets, different households, so on and so forth. But um, that, like I said, we can't. And I'm not trying to shift the blame and say that, you know, the women are 100% to blame, because a lot of it does have to do with culture. But even with that being said, there comes a point in time where, okay, yeah, the culture and how my upbringing is one thing, but, once you become an adult, you become a grown man, grown woman, ultimately, you make the decision to decide, okay, this is the way I want to think, and these are my viewpoints, and I'm either gonna hold to what I've learned because I feel like that's the right thing to do, and what I've learned is correct, or be like, you know what, I was taught some pretty screwed up things, some pretty effed up things, and I don't want to hold to that anymore. I found out that was a bunch of BS, and if I continue to hold these mindsets and, you know, carry these principles, then I'm gonna live the rest of my life alone. So, which leads me to, hypergamy. You know, women by nature are going to be hypergamous because, again, I did a video about hypergamy about a year or so ago. And the fact of the matter is, women are going to be naturally attracted to what they consider the best available man possible. They're going to be more attracted to a man that has a house, the basic necessities like house, car, you know, job, what have you. But at the same time, we live in this materialistic society over here in the West mainly, to where it's getting to the point where even a man that might have his own apartment, might have his own means of transportation, it's getting to the point where that's not even enough, because you have a lot of women, especially in our culture, especially those of us who are melanated and part of Israelite culture. A lot of those women, a lot of our women are out earning us. So, with that being said, you have a lot of women, they play this competition game where they say, well, I make such and such, and if a man isn't making this much or more than me, then I'm not going to give him the time of day. Even if that man might have his own place, have transportation or working towards transportation, might not have the best job, but he has a 9 to 5. Now all of a sudden that ain't good enough, because he doesn't make the dollar amount that a particular woman might make. Now he's seen as a quote unquote unsuitable candidate for a relationship. Even if he's doing the best he can and he's holding his own as far as what he needs to take care of in his household, that ain't good enough for that woman. And here's my question though. If it was good enough for mom and pop, if it was good enough for grandma and granddad, what makes any of us better than them? If they were able to make it work, why weren't we able to make it work? Now I know we live, cost of living ain't what it was back then, but at the same time, you know, I ain't like I said again. I ain't saying we can live off of 25 cents an hour. I mean, nobody's making 25 cents an hour first and foremost to begin with, but mainly talking to the ladies out here. You have to make a decision. Get your emotions out of it, and let's deal with this logically. I'm gonna leave y'all with this question before I end my stream. And for those who may catch this on the playback, be sure to leave a like, comment, subscribe, and if you want to support, I'll leave my Cash App in the description. But I'm gonna leave you ladies with this question. Man A might be making a few $1,000s a year less than you, which means he's probably making maybe $1 to an hour less if you're on an hourly wage, or you're making maybe like again $2,000 to $5,000 a year less. But he got his own place, and he also has a vision to improve his situation, and he has multi-million-dollar, maybe even possibly billion-dollar dreams that he's working towards. But also, he's a man of good moral standing. He has sound principles in mind that he lived by. He has wisdom. He has guidance. He's in his nature. He's a protector. He has all the qualities that you would look for in a man that you could see yourself spending the rest of your life with. You got man B. He was born into a wealthy family. He's got that high company. He's got that high position at a company that his father runs. He's the heir apparent to that company. But he hasn't really had to work hard for that. He's a spoiled brat. He's a whoremonger male. He's got children from multiple women that he don't take care of, and he really don't go out of his way to even see his children. Doesn't really bother to get to know them. Rationally and logically thinking, women, which man would you choose? Man A or man B? Something to think about. With that in mind, it's your boy, Sean the Navigator. Again, those who watch this on the playback, if you would leave a like, comment. If you haven't subscribed, subscribe to content of my channel. And if your heart moves you to support via Cash App at $Sean the Navigator, it would be gladly appreciated. Peace and blessings.